Okay, so I ended that other session so prematurely that that wasn't all I had to say. Because I didn't even hit my high points because I haven't spoken in a couple of days. I have notes everywhere. And they drive me crazy because some of the things I would like to put out here in the universe for us to reconsider. Remember now, in this United States, we are on this democracy is only 245 years old. And I hope everybody's up and paying attention because you know the democracy now is under threat. Those real people called Republicans, or whatever you want to call them, those people that think they don't have to do a thing to help out everybody are creating roadblocks that are horrible. And I can't. Mm, I'm saying I can no longer be your savior, guys. You know, you all have men have been free since they came here in 1619. They brought me as a slave in 1619, and they'd have been just liking keeping this black skin in prison since 1619. You have not changed. Your strokes are the same. Use the same snake. You use the same snake oil. You use the same agenda, which is maintain white privilege. You you keep the agenda of Matt's net non. What do they call us now? Well, what we know is we're not pure white. We are people that are of color. And I guess you have been reading the paper because it's all everywhere. They're saying your women, white women, they're not having children. Mm-mm. It's black women and brown women and dark brown women and women of color and our women of all colors. Gosh, women of all kind of hair colors. My gosh, women all with all kind of motives, be they good or bad. All it's too much stuff going on for you wanting to pigeonhole me into something that only works for you. And we have to do a better job of protecting ourselves and protecting this democracy. We need to stand to vote. Hmm. And how do we uplift and unpack? Well, they're trying to shut us down, and all I can say is we can make them out alive. Every time the polls open, wherever these polls are, and whatever man changes in times they're going to be, we need to plan our way to vote. The same strategy that Lucy, that Stacey Abrams used, is the same principle we're going to use to change this. But I am not safe for whites to saying this shit that you guys have been doing for the last 245 years. You should be ashamed of yourself, but you're not. So we have to just keep rising to the occasion to say you're full of shit. When I watch you, you're full of shit. When you talk, you're full of shit. You only want things to service you, be it healthcare, be it education, be it the economy, be it having a job. Man, come on. And you have the nerve to be hostile when we say we're not gonna raise your children. Mm-mm. We're not gonna do that. Mm-mm. We're going to be kinder to our compatriots in this thing called living in the United States of America. When you put all your numbers on the table, you already know from the census of 2020 that just finished that white women are not having your children. Your children, they're not reproducing, and when they are, 9 times out of 10, they're reproducing with a person of color. Just ask you to stop. Take a look at where we're going. Take a look at this democracy. And understand for this thing to function and be of worth, everybody has to have a seat at the table. And quite frankly, everybody deserves a seat at the table because a seat at the table only holds those individuals that help this democracy to live to be 245 years. You take away all the inroads, all the laws, all the revisions, all the additions. Come on. All the trying to make things right, but refusing to make things right. Because, in all honesty, I should be talking to you about 4 things. And I bet you have not called your people to ask them to help you get through. And you know good and well, we should be talking about women's rights. We should be talking about voting rights. We should be talking about gun control. We should be talking about police brutality. We should be talking about climate control. We should be talking about the environment. We should be talking about voting. And we should be talking about women's rights. The Republicans are not sharing. And the Democrats, unfortunately, do not have the voters' rights upheld. Democrats can't have the vote for shit. Most people that voted in 2020 thought the Democrats were going to be made better than what they are. But you guys are not. And I'm not going to suggest that there's one thing that has plagued you all your life. It's what you know you don't want to give up, and that's what you call POWER. Because you assume that power comes from doing some things. Like you got to control some people. No, you don't. You don't have to control anybody. Ain't nobody trying to do nothing that's not right. Well, of course, you guys have been and are doing whatever you think you're doing. I don't know. I'm not too sure it's gonna all work because I can't find all my notes that were sitting on my desk that have been moved. God, so we have not done a thing with HR4. Okay, just work with me. I'm just shuffling papers now because I'd written this before. And I guess you didn't appreciate it before. But uh, the Republicans push the concept of democracy, but they don't understand how to share to make that democracy work. Guns in Texas, rape, poll watchers, and Yonkers. Just watch. These things cannot stand for Texas. Democrats need to be accountable. They need to be accountable in Texas for voting rights, for the COVID debacle, and for green testing, domestic abuse, green testing, and voting in 2022. And let me say one other thing. Thank God Larry Elders did not get the bid for governor of New York. I'm sorry, I don't know why I want to put him in New York, for governor of California. I appreciate every governor that got up and went to vote for not Elder, but back to Gavin. Maybe he has a light when he wakes up, I don't know. But if he doesn't, we just have to keep pressing our agenda. So there are too many segregation academies in Texas and in the South. And these academies are designed, so they say, because they're to protect white nationalists and white supremacists. And their edict is we must secure the existence of our people and the future white children. Democrats, you must do better. Dan Patrick, you can never ever think about running for governor. And we just look at your segregation academies. And I understand you got your second agenda academies, but you also got these the amendment. See, you're also focusing on the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. And you want to know where all my guns are, but you're not telling me where your guns are. So what am I supposed to be doing with that? Nothing. Not a dot of thing. Not until you put some things in place that might make me want to say, oh yeah, that's true. Let's take a look at that. Because putting things in order, not going to do it. Asking for help, not going to do it. Continue to make people stupid, going to continue to do it. And I cannot, Allah, so disgust. I'm just looking for see, if you knew me and we would have, we've had a conversation, you would already know where I'm going this morning. I'm going back where I've always been. I've really never, ever left this since men seem to lack the political courage to provide genuine concern for improving the material conditions of all our lives. Those of you who are in positions of power are responsible for securing the efficient, effective functionings of the economy and defense for our people. There are roughly 331 million people in the United States, and the United States proper has only been in existence for 245 years. I don't want to talk about women voting and men voting, because when you wanted to vote, you tended to include my men. I don't know why you're so mad about it now. So, okay, so there are roughly 331 million individuals in the United States. Okay. So, women, we must unite to change the material inconsistencies in our lives. We women must unite. we white women and black women and women of color and brown women and dark brown women and poor white women and women who still live outside our gates, who are outcast and vulnerable. We must take a look at those women, these women that still find themselves outside whatever the parameters and boundaries are for being in America. They don't have access to that. And then poor white women, you know who you are. You can run out there and vote for Donald Trump all you want, but you know your income has not improved one iota. So why are you doing all these ugly things? It hasn't improved. Not one iota has it improved. So, I just need to keep, Lord have mercy. Where are my people? Where? Mm, I hate that this paper is ruffling, but I hate that we are not done with the mm, the HR. Was it 35 or HR 4? I can't get it. I got it confused now. I think it's HR 4, and then you got HR 35. You got HR something. HR. I'm not looking at any of them right now. And I don't particularly have them memorized in my headspace because it's got so much other crap going on. And I'm not looking right at it. But I know you know that there are 331 plus million people living in the United States. And we collectively have experienced the death of more than 680,000 people due to COVID. 680,000 lives, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, parents dying and leaving us your children to raise. Come on. And then you know you don't want to raise no children. I'm just saying. We should have had another talk with our kids before they began dropping these things called children. Oh my goodness. I can't say how important it is now for the Democrats to start to give a fuck. You really been buffooning us. I'm not buffooning us. Yes, it is buffooning. But you've been doing ugly things to us for a long time in the names of what you call a not a mm-mm. And just for if it's black, it's not right. Okay, and the best is there. The goal is not to be the best because the best don't exist. The only thing we can teach our children is the goal is to learn and be anxious for nothing. I have to remind myself not to be anxious for nothing because my podcasts haven't gotten exactly the way I want them to go, but I am speaking up when I'm anxious, and I'm anxious now. So I'm inviting you to be anxious for nothing. Hope is a good thing. Hope is a free journey. And I ask you to keep sharing your humanity. Because in the end, you are going to protect, respect, and you're going to strive to be a master at your craft. Whatever that craft is, you're striving to be a master at it. Tell your truth, share your narrative, own it, and stand in it. Our children do not want our shit. They can get their own things. They don't want any things we got. I say all the time, I wake up 75 years now, unapologetically black. I understand that He is the giver of life and my black life since I'm black. And God don't make no mistakes. So I've been able to be out here for 75 years just trying to maneuver, navigate through these increasingly strange waters. Just let us get to the point where our yes is our yes and our no is our no. Be anxious for nothing. As my oldest son says, be anxious, nada, zippo. Okay. So you have HR 30, HR 35, HR 40, HR 1278. These George, you mean the George Floyd Act has not even passed. The gun legislation, it hasn't passed. So actually, you can still kill us whenever you see us because that's your right. Hmm, is it? We people of color have a lot to think about, and we people of color need to navigate all of our energies toward the truth of who we are and what we're going to do. So, all must be overcome in order to stand against such toxic solidarity. We just need to do a better job. Let us just say, if you saw my movie, America, semicolon, the motion picture, I'm trying to establish some frames of reference. I ask all the time, what was, oh, we're not going to talk about him today because I don't have an open line. We're not going back and forth. Just asking us to slow ourselves down, appreciate being quiet. Love is love. Kindness is everything. It doesn't cost us anything to be kind. As my mom would say, joy on you. And as I always say, yours in liberty. Until next time.